one S-Rank quality stream of the day. The best one you will find on twitch.tv. The whole website over. Zero flaws, zero errors, 100% down the line. Technical perfection. Welcome once again to the show. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are here on a Tuesday this time round to get drama done. This is not standard. It shall remain on a Friday. The only problem is, as you might be aware, is that occasionally we have some YouTube-related stuff that we've got to get done, man. We've got to refocus and reorganize and get down the line, and time does run away with us. So it will usually be a Friday. Otherwise, but we look. To make you feel better, the reason we didn't do drama on Friday is because we had to finish the Legacy video. The Legacy video is now finished. It's out and available. It's on Patreon. It'll be out on Saturday for everybody of the general public who's out there right now on Saturday. We're going to release it a bit earlier. So I think we'll do it midday UK time. Usually release our videos at 6 p.m. But we have a web show at 8 p.m. So we'll release it at like midday, something like that, and get it out there. And the Legacy will be out for you because it's a pretty long one. It's a pretty long one, as you can probably imagine. It's been that long since we got it. Since we had the last one. This one is pretty long, but from all the feedback we've had, I mean 100% of the feedback we've had, it's thumbs fresh. It's thumbs fresh. Everybody's pretty happy with what we've put together. So you can look forward to that on your Saturday afternoon. So that'll be out. I'll set it for midday. It's not 4 hours. No, it's about an hour. It's about an hour Legacy. But there's no extra wasted time in there. I don't think so. I cut a lot down, actually. It was a big problem because we were going through it and I said, Andy, it's just too long, man. It's way too long. It's way too long. So anyway, to keep up with everything that we are doing, we're going to have drama on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday afternoon. We've just been playing Metal Gear, which if you haven't seen, literally S-rank after S-rank after S-rank. It's really sad, actually, for the enemy because they don't know what's coming. Then I turn up and they just... It's a mystery as to what happened to them. An absolute mystery as to what happened to them. But some of them are gone, right? Everyone's gone, and it's completely just air passing through a jacuzzi is what it's like, right? Everybody will stick up for me. We are going to do what we did last time when we had the random drama time. Is we're going to be picking just random stories. And as always, it comes with a caveat is I don't really know what's in these. And therefore, it could be terrible. We could have a terrible show. I hope not. Obviously, I hope not. But we might also have something really weird happen. So, let's see. Let's see what happens. Maybe we should get Andy with some sort of system to warn us if we're going really off track.
For what?
Well, I don't know what's in these stories. There could be dangerous things. I mean, we had a baby situation last time. It turned out okay. But it was definitely risky. Right. These are the names involved. We need an RL friend who plays a Draenei Shaman. That will be Brunch. My boy Brunch. We need the guild leader, a Night Elf Hunter. Night Elf Hunter, eh? That'll be Dylan. And we need a guild. We need an edgy guild name, ladies and gents. A real edgy guild name. But like, not edgy dark, not like the Crow edgy. Like, religious gold, angelic edgy. You know what I mean? We need it like that. We need it like Diablo 3, going up to the heavens.
The Angel's Blade.
The Angel's Blade. The Angel's Blade. The Angel's Blade. I like the Angel's Blade. The Children of the Light. Shadows of the Oblivion. Ooh. All right, here we go. So this one is entitled The Strangest Phone Call. It says, hello, Preacher, and hello, team. I watched a lot of Drama Time today, and it reminded me of my own little story. This took place in the early Burning Crusade. Now, as some of you might know, if you've watched the Legacy of the Burning Crusade, you should watch that video if you haven't. The early days of the Burning Crusade weren't the best. They're certainly not if you're raiding. They weren't the best. So that's what I've got in my head so far. Is like, this is a struggling time. We're doing a lot of herbalism. Okay. My friend Brunch and I were around 16 years old. Oh, it's a girl. I knew her from school. And even though my brother introduced me to WoW, I only really started playing when she invited me. So we're getting vibes of somebody who's not a gamer. We have a potential noob situation here. And he's playing WoW to try and get with that girl. He's trying to get with that girl. That's what I'm getting. This is from one sentence. This is what I'm getting. She started a new character to level with me, and we were just enjoying the game. Dungeons, quests, exploring the world. Usually we would just call each other after school and spend the rest of the evening on the phone and in WoW. You sensing friend zone? Sensing friend zone. When we were around level 20, we met a high-level night elf hunter called Dylan, who helped us with our quests. All his /s and /party messages sounded a bit strange. Oh god, he's an RPer. But since we were playing on an RP server, night elf hunter, now it makes sense. We were playing on an RP server, we just assumed that it was normal. Soon after he invited us to his guild, the Angel's Blade, we realized it was in fact an RP guild. The RP in this guild mostly consisted of guild meetings in some low-level location, sitting around and talking about ridding the world of Azeroth of evil. It sounds like a Pinky and the Brain episode. We're all going to get together in Goldshire, guys, and we're going to talk about how we're going to rid Azeroth of evil for about an hour. All of the guild members were friendly and helpful. We started making friends, and for a while it was great to have people to enjoy the game with. The only strange thing was Dylan. Dylan required a lot of positive attention. Dylan would constantly ask everyone if he was doing a good job. He would keep whispering Brunch, some other female guild members with lots of smileys. He also liked to RP in his whispers. Asterisk, hugs, asterisk. Asterisk, cuddles, asterisk. And for his real favourites, Dylan's real motherfucking favourites, asterisk, kisses, asterisk. Shit. Damn good. Fucking damn good. Most in the guild assumed Dylan was a girl due to all the smileys and emoticons. Pretty sure Dylan's a girl. No guy talks like that. No guy would talk like that. And we all thought that the writing made sense if we thought that Dylan was a girl. I only ever replied as much as necessary to those messages since they made me feel really uncomfortable. Brunch, on the other hand, started what seemed like a weird friendship with Dylan as she thought she was a girl as well. Right. Okay. A couple of weeks after us joining the Angel's Blade, they would start hanging out in Skype pretty much every evening. Whenever I asked if I could maybe join so we could get back to leveling, I was denied. When she and I were in a call, he would write things like, Brunch, I need you right now. I'm so lonely. To her. And she would run to him. I started feeling like the third wheel. While they were in Skype, I would get strange whispers from Brunch telling me to guess things about Dylan's private life. Oh no. Where are we going? No, let's keep going. Things only got weirder from here. My friend kept hinting at things they had talked about in their conversations without actually saying anything. Sometimes private things about Dylan, sometimes sexual things. To this day, I have no idea why she was even getting me involved in this. Eventually, I figured out that our guild leader was in fact male, 31 years old and currently unemployed. After about a week of that, things with the guild took a turn for the worse. The next guild meeting was cancelled. Without the RP meeting, one person left the guild. we're just not going to rid Azeroth of evil, then what am I doing here? What the fuck am I doing here? If we're not going to rid the world of Azeroth of evil, well, I'm not going to stick around, right? I tried to reach Brunch on Skype again, seeing as she was online in WoW. She didn't answer the call. So I wrote her a whisper, no reply. After half an hour, our guild leader logged off, and I got a call from Brunch. She sounded really upset, and it took quite a while to understand what was going on. Dylan and Brunch had one of their usual calls, when Dylan suddenly started crying. Told her that he's in love with her, that he needs her now, that everything around him is falling apart. He can't take it anymore. And so on and so on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay. We're all right. All right. You'll understand. You'll understand in a minute. You'll understand in a minute. It would also seem that the last thing he said before hanging up the call is, so much blood. It's everywhere. Now, wasn't sure if any of what he said was true or not, but I also thought, what if it was? He needed help. I had no way of getting an ambulance to his place, since I neither knew his real name nor his address. There was only one thing I could do. I had to call Blizzard. The call to Blizzard support hotline was probably one of the strangest calls I've ever had to make. I called to tell them one of my friends had a phone call with this guy. Here's his character name in the realm. And he said something about blood, and he was sad, and he'd hung up the phone. I was calling them because I had neither the address nor the friend or his real name to call. I didn't want to know his real name or address, but I was just calling if they could do something about it. It took a while until I got a promise that Blizzard would investigate. I felt I'd done everything I could. They asked me the age and the age of my friend Brunch. After that call, I told my best friend to calm down, and eventually we went to bed. 2 days went by, and Dylan didn't log on. I started to worry. Dylan has come online. How dare you call the police on me? How dare you? At first, I felt relieved. We tried to explain that all we wanted to do was to make sure he was safe. In hindsight, I think that Blizzard support called the cops instead of an ambulance for good reasons. He kept swearing at us and finally left the guild, saying we should understand RP when we hear it. Of course I wasn't trying to commit suicide. It's just RP. It's just RP, boys. It's just RP. We left the guild. A couple of hours later, he whispered Brunch, trying to apologize. She put him on ignore, so he started whispering me. Sorry. He wasn't asking me. He wasn't apologizing to me. He was asking me to convince Brunch to come back. That he really needed her. I put him on ignore as well. So he created new characters and tried over and over again. Eventually, we had to leave both realm and faction to get our peace. I never did tell my parents about this. They would have taken away my PC. Smirt, actually. Better keep this one under the fucking hat, yeah, boys? We're going to stick that one upstairs. Call that good, because we don't want to lose PC privileges. We've had to get the police involved. We're going to leave it there. Since I was only allowed to play WoW in the first place, so it wouldn't interfere with my homework. Clever, parents. Clever. You can play one game, so it doesn't affect your studies. What about World of Warcraft? Good choice? Good choice. Good. Because my brother had played other games, and he had got himself into trouble. But I have not had any issues with guys in games since then. Hoping you and your audience enjoyed it. Our peers, we give you guys a lot of love here. We really do. right? We enjoy your RP ways. We do, right? We share in it. We don't mock it unless it gets really silly, in which case we probably deserve to mock it a little bit. Suicide's not RP. It's not. It's not. Even with asterisks. It's not. Just because you put asterisks there, which you can't even do in the real world, even if you did this on the other side of the phone, that's not fair. Don't do that. I write to you through the beautiful and sunny state of California, where every sunset is golden and pristine. But I don't know that because I do not go outside. Yes.
It's also the only one of 52 states that is confirmed that they know how to party.
That is true. They do know how to party. That's what I've heard. Since the announcement of 735 and the level scaling to the world that come with it, I decided I'd level a new alt. A warrior. One alongside, parallel to my main warrior, in preparation for BFA, so that I could enjoy both sides of the faction's stories and content. Once the patch hit, I was ready. I logged into my warrior and started blazing through Silver Pine Forest and Hillsbrad Foothalls. If this is a story that leveling takes really long now, I'm going to be so sad. Yeah, what is the most interesting about my tale is not the questing, which simply was made longer. Oh, thank God, that was answered straight away. No, sir, it was the dungeons. The new scaling had breathed a new air into dungeons. And the new challenge that they posed made any instance a fun, revitalized experience. People can't do the old dungeons, can they? Has anybody got any experience with this? Is it as true as I hear? Like, people can't get through, like, Namerigan? Is this actually happening? To people who have leveled. Is this actually happening? It's true. Is this really happening? It's mint. Oh, God. Wow. But the scaling's off. So it's not a case of like... Is it a mix of some bad players and also the dungeons are way harder than they should be? Or are the dungeons as hard as they should be? Some bosses in Zul'Farrak take 7 to 8 minutes each. Some dungeons feel like Mythic 15. It's a mix of both. It's usually a mix of both. Okay then, so this is going to be an educational experience for me. The first disaster was none other than Stratholme. I don't even know how Strath works anymore. Is it still in 2 parts? When we all zoned in, we were ready. Pumped, prepared to strike at the heart of the ghouls and make our way through the cursed city. Except our tank was specced unholy DK and didn't know how to tank. Needless to say, we wiped a couple of times. Reluctantly, I switched from arms to prot just to make the run a little smoother. A side note, if you've heard people tell you that arms is a great leveling spec, they're fucking wrong. Charging at a foe, pressing Mortal Strike, then waiting literally forever to generate rage is the most miserable experience I've ever had in WoW. Then you realise that Rend is the most rage-efficient ability that low-level arms has, and you become even more fucking miserable. Arms is dog shit. Period. Moving on. When do you get Colossus Smash? When do you get Colossus Smash and Slam? Or do you just not have any rage? Do you have all these spells and no rage? Is that what happens? I just can't get angry. But IRL is so ironic because IRL, I'm really angry. I'm really, really angry. Eventually, someone decided to kick the tank since he was, well, not tanking. Not long after, a prop paladin joined us. And I was able to go back to rending the skeletons. I really hate that the current mobs in game can all bleed. It actually annoys me. New tank pulled 2 packs and we wiped. Again pulled and we wiped. As it turned out, the mobs hit really hard and our healer just couldn't keep up. Worse, our healer had not brought any water. So we had to wait for him to regen his mana passively. I did that to one group once. I did that to one group once. To one group once. I never did it again. I learnt my lesson. I was like, I'm sorry, I've got no more water with me. We'll just have to wait while my mana regens. Oh, it was a bad time. We also had to tactically plan every single pull, use interrupts wisely, and target the most dangerous mobs as we steadily move through the dungeon. That's just playing WoW. What the fuck are you talking about? We had to kill the most dangerous mobs first, and then use interrupts wisely. That's just WoW. Maybe this is a good change. Maybe after a good 1 hour and going through the longest and most miserable boss fights of my life, we reached Ramstein the Gorger. Which one's that? Is that the guy who's patchwork style outside of the last boss? The dude killed everyone in 2 hits. The damage on the boss was so extreme, I had to taunt off him, pop cooldowns, and wait for the tank to heal himself back to full whilst kiting him all the time. See, that shouldn't happen. To be fair, that shouldn't happen. We defeated Ramstein and finally faced Lord Arius Rivendare. This, a much easier fight, was no problem for us, and we defeated him thusly. After we were done, we all nodded in agreement. Fuck level 20 keystones. Strat normal is where it's at. But next, the Arcatraz. Ooh, I bet that is a bitch. Even people in TBC, good geared people, did not want to do the Arcatraz, certainly on Heroic. At around level 72, I queued for a dungeon, unknowing I'd queued for a time-walking dungeon, which almost only level 110s go to. Feeling out of place, I tried to keep up with everyone, but the lack of endgame talents and artifacts or Legos made me stick out like a shit player. My Deeps performance aside, the real kicker was our monk bro, Glennon, who managed to creep the shit out of me. Now you see, and I know the chat will give me shit for this, I'm a bro, but I like to play female characters. Not just female characters, but my favorite race is the Pandaren. You're a fairy, aren't you? You want to play the Pandaren girls. Now you'll ask why Pandaren females, but I will tell you. What's best in life is to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women when you're playing as a cuddly panda. Do not use Conan to justify your furriness.
Oh.
It's you're trying to do something crazy by using Conan to justify you playing female pandas, right? I mean, if anything works that way, he's justifying it. Okay. As we progress through the Arcatraz and eventually wiped because of Infernal Bros. Oh, what is Meteor though? How do we defeat this mechanic? Meteor? What is that? I'm wiping on Infernal Bros because no one's stacked. Monk Bro, or Glennon, eloquently types in chat, I ain't releasing. I'm really angry about this dungeon and I'm trying not to release that already. Oh, shit. Yeah? You like that, Andy?
What do you say, mate?
He can't release. And you know why? Because he's so angry and he's trying not to release that instead. So you better res me then, mate.
Well, like that.
Fucking plebs. Fucking bad, you lot. I told him don't get mad at a video game, hoping for things to pipe down and just keep on clearing the dungeon. Glennon, however, was having none of that. You could tell from his mog that he reeked of alpha male. Right, we're going to describe the mog. Andy, you ready for the alpha male mog? Oh, he's already got a face on him. Like, can't wait to hear this. All right. Full chest hair visibility, no shoes, ragged pants, and knuckle dusters for weapons.
Scruff. That says homeless, not fucking alpha.
100% would steal your girl material. He immediately said, no, mate. It's not the video game that I'm mad at. It's sexual frustration, though. You know what I mean? I can't release my body. I'm too sexually frustrated. I just need y'all to know I'm not running back though. I'm too sexually frustrated. Oh, you'll have to res me. You'll have to res me. Oh, genius, actually. I told him he probably should just use a magazine, to which everyone lolled, and we continued with the dungeon. A few minutes later, he looked towards me and typed in all caps, as an alpha male would. Wait, though, you're a lady panda. I felt very uncomfortable and just replied, well, yeah. To which Glennon quickly followed up with a so very eloquent and refined, no magazine needed then. He's gonna, if this guy starts beating his meat. I swear I lost it. I was laughing the shit out of that comment, but was genuinely reasonably creeped out at the same time. And I was only just managed to say, just stay away from me, dude. After other bants, we finally made it to the final boss, where of course I got mind controlled and was immediately killed by my friends. You were all waiting for that, weren't you? I asked. Can't control Avenger's shield, said the tank. I was, says the announcement shaman. Alright, put your hand up if you were waiting to kill me. Guilty. Glennon, though, stayed quiet. And before I could get a res from the healer after the fight ended, he simply walked towards me and did a /E. Glennon gingerly strokes your hair. Oh my god, that's gross. That really creeped me out, and I just immediately left the group after the res. After a couple of seconds, I had a bit of a laugh. It was funny to see that happen in WoW after hearing so many drama stories about creeps just lurking around. And I sure never thought I'd encounter something, certainly not so close to something I'd heard in a drama story. And I told my friend about it, who is a girl and has never had anyone hit on them or creep on them. I wondered why these things happen to me. I'd also been hit on when I was on my druid and decided to take that person who'd requested a flight on a 2-seater mount to Eastern Plaguelands. It's another story that I'll never forget. Now I know I can't let my guard down. These furries are on the prowl. To the next dungeon then. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel all of you should brace yourselves, strap yourselves in. We are going to the one, the only, the notorious, one of the most notorious dungeons in the history of the game. We're going to the Oculus. Not too long after Glennon's Oscar-winning phrases and performance, I joined a new group. Once I zoned in, I knew I was in for a treat. On the gauntlet before the first boss, I took a peek at the damage meters and realised our hunter wasn't doing anything and was ninja pulling. He was pressing Cobra Shot non-stop, and I noticed he had no pet. I checked, he was spec Beast Mastery. I've seen that so regularly, though, that they must just not realise it's not out, even though Kill Command doesn't work. It's got to be that. It has to be. I see it so regularly. I've seen it at least 5 times in the last couple of months. Is BM Hunters without a pet. Or not using Kill Command in any way. We cleared the gauntlet and clicked the portal. I was first to make it through. Then the tank, then the healer. Ooh, we need a healer name. Let's go with Snookums. A pause. The pally came through. Longer pause. The hunter hadn't made it through. As this is a short one, let's go with Megan. Megan, you're the hunter. Megan hadn't made it through. On the minimap, I could see Megan backpedaling to see if they could find a way to carry on the dungeon. And eventually must have found the portal. The 5 of us were there, ready to pull the boss. Seconds pass, no pull. Megan is jumping around. Got too close. Ninja pulls. We almost wiped, but we did manage to kill it. Preach, this is where it hit me. I realised that the next part of this dungeon might be too much for someone of the calibre of Megan. Before picking up the dragons, I decided to stay back and see what everyone else was picking so I could fill the gap. Seconds pass of the 4 others going through each of the representatives, and nothing. I then explained that the healer would take the green dragon, the tank get the red, and the rest of us to take the bronze dragon. Tank and healer took theirs and summoned it. Pally and Megan, however, it took a bit more effort. I started to explain to them that who they wanted to talk to was the gnome, and they would have to tell him they wanted to fly on the wings of the bronze dragonflight. It seemed I wasn't clear enough. They were still running between all 3. I then changed it from party chat to local chat. It's this guy where I'm jumping. This guy here. That didn't work either. We managed to place a marker on the ground next to the NPC. That seemed to work though. Hey, both of them went to him. Then I told him to click the item and call the dragon. The paladin figured it out. Megan needed some more motivation. We spent 5 minutes on this. Snookums, the healer, got frustrated. I actually started laughing at this point as it was so utterly ridiculous. We finally made it to the next platform with the constructs. After we'd flown up, we had to go back and escort Megan to the right platform. When Megan landed, she instantly pulled a ton of blue drakes that I had to deal with since everybody else was fighting the mobs on the platform. After killing the drakes, I swiftly huffed off my drake and joined into the fray, popping battle cry and blade storm, seeing my name instantly rise in the meters, and dead. Tank had died. We had wiped. Ran back. Had to tell the paladin and Megan to summon their dragons again. We make it to the platform. Tank disconnects. I feel like I'm right here with you, man. This is fucking insane. We kick the tank and I switch to prot again to keep things rolling. For a moment, it's just me DPSing the mobs and the healer desperately trying to keep me alive, since the other two, the paladin and Megan, are doing something else. I don't know what. We finally killed the mobs and a new tank joined us. Oh, who should we have? Let's have Nap. Let's have Nap for this. Nap was his name. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. Snookums was getting pissy and calling out Megan. He'd also tried to kick Megan earlier with the description, has downs. I almost spilled my coffee and clicked no because it was just too ridiculous to stop. Vote failed and we kept going on. After dealing with all the constructs and finishing the quest for it, the paladin sent me a message on instant chat, which gave away that he did not speak English, but was Chinese. That made it so much sense as to why his name was something along the lines of Penis Knight. I've gone to school with many a Chinese person, and many of my friends are so. And they love calling everything a penis. Not my experience. We have a lot of Chinese friends. It's not my experience. But whatever. Let's keep going. We've got an Oculus to finish. Now knowing that our hunter was either a 5-year-old cousin playing on someone's account, I made the realization that I'd struck comedy gold. I knew this run would be the best laugh I could have in a while, so I decided I was going to stick it out to the end. You're not filming a TDP. That's my thought process. We're in it for the long haul. All right. And possibly I could even teach people how to play a bit better. Along that line, Nap asked Megan to turn Growl off the pet. To which I whispered, I don't think he knows how to. Jesus fucking Christ, Nap said. After that, dying a couple more times and finally killing all of the Mage Lord Urom images, it was finally time to fly to the middle ring platform and fight him ourselves. Or so we thought. For some reason, the instance bugged out, and the boss spawned on the last platform where his image had been. We tried to kill him, and after casting an empowered arcane explosion, he would bug out, disappear, and reset. We decided to go to the middle platform and just hope that he would spawn on the correct platform, but he did not. I'd gotten off my dragon, and Nap tried to go pull him from the platform to see if he would reset to the middle since I was there. All the while, Paladin and Megan are contemplating their own existence. I don't think they came to any conclusions. Nap got off his dragon, entered combat. That made me unable to actually summon my dragon and condemned me to watch from the middle platform. Snookums, Paladin, and Megan got to where Nap was and help him, only to run into the bug again. Empowered Arcane Explosion and reset. Or so we thought. Again. It turns out that after the cast, he would teleport somewhere else, and that was the very middle platform where I was. I got aggro and got killed again. Snookums called it GG and left the group. Nap and I were cursing the possibility of it all. Paladin and Megan were still trying to find their place in the cosmos. I regret to inform you in the chat that Oculus remained unkilled to this day. We didn't make it. We didn't make it. We didn't make it. It's over. No! If I remember right, that guy you fight on the outer ring and then he teleports to the middle. He teleports to the middle. I'd always want... It's after... Alright, this is the conclusion. Another group dies to the Oculus. I'd always wanted to write you a drama story, Preacher, but never thought it appropriate enough until this fiasco. After that last wipe, I immediately opened Google Docs and scribbled this down. At this particular moment, I am still trying to plow my way to 110, but the road still seems so far away and so steep. I appreciate you taking your time, and I hope my little story was enjoyable for you all. Thank you very much. P.S. to your chat, female panda race, motherfuckers. There you go, boys. Female panda race. Are we good?
Yeah, you need to get changed.
I need to go and get my son. Okie dokie. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the roller coaster of Drama Tuesday. That's a journey, isn't it? That was a journey. We went on a wild ride there. We went on a wild ride for sure. But there it is. There it is. Ladies and gents, I will be back tomorrow. Wednesday, reset day, the whole shabazz. The Blizzard Q&A starts in 3 hours, as far as I know. 3 hours. We will have a ton of information coming out. I will watch with bated breath to see what's happening. But we will find out in about 3 hours. I might stream during the Q&A. I might not. I'm not promising anything, but... we'll see. It'll depend on my kids, honestly. It'll depend on my kids. Right, I have to go pick up my youngest. So, love you all. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Say bye.
Peace, y'all. Damn.